Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time we have first impressions of the new Google Pixel 10 series that has been announced for Mexico. Finally, we have to get started. These devices will feature a very similar design between them all. Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro have practically equal sizes, while the XL model, as its name implies, will be the largest model of the family. The design is faithful to what Google has already shown us in the past, with the horizontally shaped capsule that protrudes from the body of the device to place the camera module. This generation of frames is more reflective, using metallic material to protect the device from falls, specifically aluminum. On the front, you'll find Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and the back has the same material, polished for a satin finish. Regarding durability, the entire family features IP68 against water and dust, complying well, but note that Chinese devices already have IP69. In many cases, it's not state-of-the-art yet. Regarding colors, all models come in the obsidian color, which is essentially black. The Pro and XL versions are also offered in porcelain, jade, and moonstone shades. Meanwhile, the base model is available in slightly more vibrant colors such as indigo, frost, and lemongrass. For screens, we have 6.3 inches for small models and 6.8 for large ones. The resolution varies, 1080 x 2400, and 24 pixels for the base, 1280 x 2856 for the Pro, and 1300, and 44 x 2992 for the XL. Pro models feature LTPO tech from 1 to 120 Hz, while the base model adjusts from 60 to 120 Hz. All displays come with support for HDR content with 24-bit color depth, so they are truly brutal displays. Only the Pro models will have a higher brightness range, going up to 2200 nits in HDR content and up to 30,300 nits as maximum peak brightness. Of course, we will find stereo sound to complement the multimedia experience well. Google ensures that they have improved the power of these speakers. I was only able to test them for a short moment, so we will need to test them more thoroughly to truly understand the quality they can offer. However, I believe they will not disappoint in terms of audio. The front camera for the base model will have 10.5 megapixels with a zoom of 95 degrees, while the Pro models will increase to 42 megapixels with a zoom angle of 103 degrees. In all models, the aperture is f2.2, and the good news is that they come with autofocus in all three models, which is very good, so selfies are expected to be of good quality. The truth is that I tested it in low light conditions and the photo looks very good. It gave me the feeling of giving us a very similar quality to that given by the iPhone in the front camera, which is positive. For the rear camera, interestingly, we will find ourselves with 3 cameras from the base model. This is something new. The base model comes with 48 megapixels for the main camera with f1.7 aperture. Then 13 megapixels ultra-wide camera with f2.2 aperture, and finally the 10.8 megapixels telephoto camera with f3.1 aperture and 5x optical zoom that allows us to have a maximum zoom of 20x with this super re-zoom function. Both the primary camera and the telephoto camera feature optical stabilization. Meanwhile, the Pro models have a shared camera system. Among them, the main camera is 50 megapixels with an aperture of f1.68, along with optical stabilization. Then there's the ultra-wide camera, which is 48 megapixels, with an aperture of f1.7. In this instance, it includes autofocus, enabling it to also function for macro photography with a 123-degree field of view. Finally, there is the telephoto camera with 48 megapixels, f2.8, aperture, 5x optical zoom, and also with optical and digital stabilization. In this case, the Pro models can reach a maximum zoom of 100x, obviously enhanced by artificial intelligence. All 3 models have laser to improve focusing and also a sensor to analyze the color spectrum and avoid flickering. I tested the cameras very briefly and they leave me with a good feeling. I must emphasize that I conducted the test in an environment with exceptionally low lighting, making it quite a challenging setting, yet the device performed admirably. This leads me to believe that we can have a positive outlook on the cameras throughout the entire series. Of course, we will need to evaluate it under various conditions to be certain. The reality is that we will have the capability of recording video in 4K at 60 frames per second across the entire lineup, which means even the base model offers impressive video recording capabilities. Regarding the rear camera, the Pro models can achieve up to 8K at 30 frames per second. What really caught my attention is that this high resolution won't be limited to just the main camera. We will also be able to use this resolution with the ultra-wide and the telephoto lenses as well. This is something I haven't seen in other devices before. As for the base model, its maximum capacity is 4K at 60 frames per second on the rear camera. The battery in the Pro model is the largest with 5200 mAh. Google promises more than 30 hours of battery life and fast charging capable of reaching 70% in 30 minutes using a 45 watts charger under the PPS protocol. Interestingly, the second largest battery will be in the base model with 4970 mAh. The Pro model, the intermediate one, has a smaller battery of 4870 mAh. The last two models offer fast charging reaching 55% in 30 minutes with a 30 watts charger using the PPS protocol. In all three cases, the charger is sold separately, but here comes the good news: the whole family will support Pixel Snap. This is finally an alternative to Apple's MagSafe. That is, it is a magnetic wireless charger that doesn't need any special case, as the magnets are built into the cell phone's body, allowing for a truly modern charging experience. Both the base and Pro models include QI certification, enabling them to achieve magnetic wireless charging at 15 watts. Meanwhile, the XL model offers an exceptionally advanced wireless charging experience. It includes Qi 2.2, allowing magnetic wireless charging up to 25 watts. These Android models are not the first to incorporate this style of charging. However, they are the most well-known and accessible ones to do so. With any luck, this trend will catch on, encouraging other Android manufacturers to adopt the same approach. Interestingly, this will undoubtedly provide you with a significantly more comfortable charging experience. And it's odd not to find the reverse wireless charging feature. This absence is peculiar, likely because the latest Pixel Watch generation lacks wireless charging capabilities. I'll provide more details in a dedicated video, which might help explain the situation. It is evident they come with Android 16 pre-installed, which was anticipated, and it will also include the most recent features that Google has announced. In fact, they also come with 7 years of operating system updates, security patches as well, and what Google refers to as Pixel Drop, which are updates where new features are continually being added. The Pixel has consistently been a device loaded with artificial intelligence ever since its inception, so it will continue to retain most of the popular features here. For instance, the Add Me feature on the camera allows you to take a picture and then change the person taking it, ensuring that everyone is included in the shot. It's a feature that I absolutely adore. Of course, it comes with Gemini. In this generation, they've also noted that when you share your camera, Gemini can point to something it's referencing, making communication with you easier. However, in my testing, it didn't quite work as expected. But hey, I'm testing a pre-release version, so surely when it officially comes out, it will be perfected. This entire experience is quite interesting because it somehow highlights an element that it wants to reference. Plus, it includes Circle to Search, a Pixel Studio app, where you can elaborate some emojis or similar things, just describing it in detail. These are things that, for the most part, we have already encountered and seen before. There are no major novelties or exaggerated innovations in terms of software. However, when combined with Android 16 and this unique kind of layer known as Material 3, Expressive, we are going to discover a very good level of customization for the lock screen. This customization is capable of somehow cutting out the background and extracting the main subjects, offering some default shapes like circles, ovals, and providing an overall good and enhanced experience. In the customization of the lock screen cover, which will then undergo a smooth transition to the always-on screen and also to the unlock screen. Thus, in a way, the experience has been significantly refined and enhanced in this regard. The voice recorder will also feature its own artificial intelligence capabilities, including transcription, summaries, and additional options. You're probably aware that Google offers several functions, but I would have preferred to see all of them compiled into a dedicated section within the settings. This is something we often see with manufacturers like Samsung, Honor, or Xiaomi, which provide a specific section in the settings menu to know in detail and in a much clearer way all the artificial intelligence features that it integrates. However, in this case, they are distributed throughout all the applications. For example, in Google Photos, in the editor, you will find many options. Google also provides a private VPN service and enhanced security features at the hardware level, all thanks to the inclusion of its Titan M chip. Additionally, with this chip comes the main processor, which is known as the Google Tensor G. We have a new generation that we haven't had the chance to test thoroughly because of time constraints. However, it's well known that the Tensor chips typically don't stand out for their raw power. For the average user, though, I believe they will provide a satisfactory experience. On the other hand, for the most hardcore gamers or users who demand the utmost power, I don't think they'll find what they're looking for here. But, of course, we'll need to wait until we conduct the tests to be certain. The base model has 12 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage with a 256 gigabytes option. The Pro models have 16 gigabytes of RAM, but only the XL model starts at 256 gigabytes, with 512 gigabytes in some regions offering a 1 terabyte option. The Pro model stays at 128 gigabyte space, which is bad given the price I'll mention soon. Options include 256 gigabytes, 500, and 12 gigabytes or even 1 terabyte, but those are pricier. In this regard, we notice a trend similar to Apple's past strategy of minimal storage. Yet even Apple now provides more storage than Pixel, which is quite unusual. Well, we're just getting some initial impressions. Now, let's discuss the prices. The base model is launched at 19,999 pesos. Then, the Google Pixel 10 Pro is priced at 25,999 pesos. And finally, the Google Pixel 10 Pro Extra Large has a price of 30,999 pesos in its most basic configuration. On screen, you are seeing the reference prices in dollars, although remember that the prices here are not the same as those over in Mexico. The important are included. By the way, they also announced the arrival in Mexico of the Pixel 9a, of which I already made you a video in case you want to go to know all its functions. Its official price in Mexico will be 11,999 pesos, ideal if you want to enjoy the whole Pixel experience except for the telephoto camera, but the truth is that it seemed to me a pretty competitive mid-range. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. This announcement about the Google Pixel 10 series arriving in Mexico is great news as it adds another competitor. Let me know in the comments what you think about the price. For now, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can indicate it, and we'll see you next time.